पाकिस्तान और सऊदी अरब के दरमियान मुफाहमती याददाश्तों पर दस्तखत की तकरीब से वज़ीर-ए-आज़म शहबाज शरीफ खिताब कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि हुकूमती इक़दामात की बदौलत इक़्तिसादी इशारे बेहतर हो रहे हैं। महंगाई 44 माह की कम तरीन सतह पर है। वज़ीर-ए-आज़म शहबाज शरीफ ने कहा कि सऊदी अरब के साथ ताउन के मुआहदे नई पेशरफ्त है। सऊदी अरब के $2 अरब से ज़ायद की सरमायाकारी का खैर मकदम करते हैं। वज़ीर-ए-आज़म शहबाज शरीफ ने कहा कि सऊदी वज़ीर सरमायाकारी की सरबराही में वफ़द का पाकिस्तान का दौरा इंतहाई अहमियत का हामिल है। वली अहद शहज़ादा मोहम्मद बिन सलमान पाकिस्तान की तरक्की में खुसूसी दिलचस्पी रखते हैं। वक्त के साथ दोनों मुल्कों की शराकतदारी मजीद मुस्तहकम होगी। मुआहदों पर अमल दरामद के लिए तमाम इकदामात जब किए जाएंगे। सऊदी मईशत की तरक्की में शहज़ादा खालिद बिन अब्दुल अजीज़ अल फली का अहम किरदार है। दोनों मुल्कों के दरमियान मुस्तकबिल में इक़्तिसादी रवाबित और ताउन मजीद बढ़ेगा। वज़ीर-ए-आज़म शहबाज शरीफ ने मजीद कहा कि सरमायाकारी में हायल तमाम रुकावटें दूर करने के लिए हम पुरअज़्म हैं। पाकिस्तान ने IMF के साथ स्टैंड बाई और अरेंजमेंट प्रोग्राम कामयाबी से मुकम्मल किया है। IMF प्रोग्राम के लिए सऊदी अरब, चीन और UAE के ताउन के मशकूर हैं। पुरअज़्म है कि IMF का ये आखिरी प्रोग्राम होगा। हुकूमती इक़दामात की बदौलत इक़्तिसादी इशारे बेहतर हो रहे हैं।
To join us on stage for exchange of MOU signed with Najd Holding Group for White Oil Pipeline Project. These are landmark projects. Next, I would like to request Major General Abdul Sami to kindly remain on stage with us as I invite Mr. Saleh Al Qater from Al Kifa Holding Company for exchanging the MOU signed with Frontier Works Organization for exploring investment opportunities. Now, I would like to invite the CEO, ED Holding and Associated Consortium, Mr. Muhammad Najib Al-Hiji, and Chief Executive Officer, Wealth Connect, Mr. Habil Ahmed Khan, to please come up on stage for exchanging the MOU signed for development of hybrid power project. The Chief Executive Officer, ED Holding, is requested to remain on stage as I request Mr. Fawad I. Said, Chief Executive Officer, Transport Power, to join us on stage to exchange MOU signed with ED Holding and Associated Consortium for development of transformer manufacturing facilities in Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. I invite Engineer Rami Abu Ghazale, Chief Executive Officer, Al-Baq, Abdul Salam Al-Hazimi from Aramco, and Mr. Khalid Riaz, Chief Executive Officer, Go Petroleum, to come up on stage for exchange of MOU signed between these companies, between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. Now, I would like to request Mr. Omar Al-Omar, Chief Executive Officer of Cyber Cave, and Mr. Tanzilur Rahman, Chief Executive Officer, Virtual Force Private Limited, to join us on stage for exchanging copies of MOUs regarding cyber security to safeguard customers and businesses. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Omar Al-Omar to stay on stage with us as I call upon Mr. Muhammad Jamil Anwar, Chief Executive Officer, Qualitatum Private Limited, to exchange MOU signed with Cyber Cave. Is exchanging documents with Mr. Omar, Chief Executive Officer of Cyber Cave. Mr. Omar is requested to stay on stage with us. I call upon Mr. Muhammad Jamil Anwar, the Chief Executive Officer, Qualitatum Private Limited, to exchange MOU signed with Cyber Cave. We invite Mr. Majid Al-Ghamadi, Board Member and International Relationship Ambassador, along with Mr. Rizwan Ahmed, Chief Executive Officer, to exchange copies of MOUs to facilitate NADEC's entry into Pakistani market. We invite Mr. Muhammad Al-Jaber, Chief Executive Officer, Jaza Global Limited, and exchange the copies of MOU signed with NADEC for the export of spices from Pakistan. I now request the Chief Executive Officer, Fauji Fresh and Freeze Limited, Brigadier Naveed Chima, to join us on stage for exchanging the MOU signed with NADEC for export of vegetables from Pakistan. I'm honored to invite the Chief Executive Officer, owner of Watan First Human Resources, Mr. Saleh Al-Kaba, and Chief Executive Officer, Ingress Consultancies, Mr. Shoaib Mughal, for exchanging the MOU signed between the two companies, who is the Chief Executive Officer, SAS Universal Links, Khan Muhammad Khan Niaz, for exchanging the MOU signed with Watan First Human Resources for technical and administrative competencies. May I now invite the Chief Executive Officer, Hamdan Global, Mr. Mohammad Rehan Akram, for exchanging copies of MOU signed with Watan First Human Resources regarding the generation of employment opportunities. On the Chief Executive Officer, Soundlines Group, Mr. Muazzam Arsalan, to exchange copies of MOU signed with Mahara Human Resources Company about framework agreement for recruitment of human resources. Retired Tahir Ali Malik from Askari Guards Private Limited to join us on stage for exchanging of MOU signed with Mahara Human Resources Company. Executive Director, Fauji Foundation Overseas Employment, Major General Muhammad Asghar, to exchange copies of MOU signed with Mahara Human Resources Company for exploring strategic partnerships to meet growing demands of specialized and skilled workforce. The Honorable Chief Executive Officer, Wafi Energy Holding, ADCM affiliated company of Asyad Holding Company, Saudi Arabia, Ghassan Al Amoudi, and Senior Vice President, Shell Petroleum Company Limited, Mr. Patrick Kerr, to exchange companies of MOUs regarding acquisition of 77% shares in Shell Pakistan Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Chairman and Founder All Care Group for Investment Company, Mr. Sultan Al Mansoor, and Director and Owner, Hillbrow Private Limited, Mr. Rehan Masood, to join us on stage for exchanging MOU signed for setting up of manufacturing factory for surgical and dental. I would like to request the Honorable Chief Executive Officer, Al Sharif Group Holding, Dr. Samar Sabir Khan, and Chief Executive Officer, Habib Rafiq Engineering Private Limited, Engineer Muhammad Zahid Nadeem, to exchange copies of MOUs in the power and energy sector projects. As I invite the Chief Executive Officer, Al Osais International Holding Company, Mr. Ahmed Ali Al Otebi, to exchange copies of MOU signed with Habib Rafiq Engineering Private Limited for investment in mining sector. Mr. Fahad Kamal Chinoy, to exchange copies of MOU for collaboration in development of electrical products for the energy sector. May I now invite Mr. Rayed Al Sikandrani, Vice President, North Middle East, Taka, and Mr. Fahim Haider, MD Chief Executive Officer, Mari Petroleum Company Limited, to join us on stage for exchanging the MOU signed between the two companies. I would again like to invite Mr. Rayed Al Sikandrani, Vice President, North Middle East, Taka, and Mr. Fahim Haider, MD Chief Executive Officer, Mari Petroleum Company Limited, to join us on stage for exchanging the MOU signed between the two companies today. And the last one for today is an agreement between Muhammad Al Madani, the Chairman, Klasra, with Syed Imran Ali, Chief Business Solutions Officer, PTCL. This is for the e-Talim and the federal government digitalization program under the Ministry of IT, headed by the Minister Shahzad.
पाकिस्तान और सऊदी अरब के दरमियान सरमाया
पाकिस्तान और सऊदी अरब के दरमियान मुफाहमती यादाश्तों के तबादले की तकरीब हुई। पाकिस्तान और सऊदी अरब के दरमियान ट्रांसपोर्ट, तवानाई, पेट्रोलियम के शोबों में ताउन पर इत्तफाक किया गया। दोनों मुल्कों के दरमियान साइबर सिक्योरिटी के हवाले से ताउन पर इत्तफाक।